In this video, we're going to be breaking down this rolling amp stand. It's made out of 3/4 inch EMT conduit, which you can find at places like Lowe's, Home Depot, and different hardware and home improvement stores. And those pieces of conduit are connected together with Maker pipe connectors. We manufacture and ship these in Anderson, South Carolina, and we send them to customers all over the country. And basically, this is a project that was sent in by an anonymous customer. This is really cool. I love seeing different projects. I was really amped to see this build. Really cool. Haven't really seen this before, but it's a project that makes a lot of sense because I'm pretty sure you can buy amp stands, but most of them don't have wheels. We can see here this one has casters, which means you can roll it around your studio or your bedroom or wherever you've got your guitar and your amplifier. You can roll this around really easily. So this is really cool and a great project. Like I said, it's 3/4 inch empty conduit. We'll just break down how this is built here and which connectors were used. So we can see that there are 4 verticals, or, let's see. Let's see here. Let's do blue. I like doing blue for the verticals for some reason. There's 4 verticals. In the back, they're angled, but we'll look at that here in a minute. There's 4 verticals that go up, and in the bottom of these 4 verticals, you've got the casters, and we 3D print an insert on those casters that allow you to basically hammer those into the end of conduit and add wheels to your build. There's a couple of other different ways you can add wheels to builds, but for projects like this, those inserts work great and allow you to just easily hammer in the inserts and the casters all at once. So there's 4 verticals with those on the bottom so this whole thing can roll. And this project has a lot of the Maker pipe T connectors, which is what we see here. There are 4 of those here connecting the verticals to this upper rectangle, where we can see that there is a bar going from one side of the build to the other here, all the way across, and then the same thing in the back. And those T connectors are grabbing on to those horizontal bars because the top half of the connector is made to allow a piece of conduit to run continuously through it, as we can see there. And then the bottom connection, these verticals down here, they terminate in the bottom of the T connector there. So those 4 T connectors are grabbing on, adding that horizontal bar. And then we've got another T connector right next to that one, but it's tilted and kind of swiveled back, which is something you can do. A lot of people don't realize that you can do that with the connector, but because it's made to allow that piece of conduit to run continuously through it, you can swivel that to pretty much any angle that you need, which is what we see here. And that's what allowed this piece of conduit to run to the back of the build there. And of course, it's the same thing on this other side as well, with another T connector grabbing on. And I just noticed another accessory here. On the end of the conduit, we can see there are some plastic end caps that he's added directly there on the end, and those are just, you push those into the conduit, or if you need some help, you can use a hammer or a mallet, something like that, to push those in. But you can push them in by hand. It helps if you deburr the conduit, or I've also found it helpful to leave the burr on the conduit if you want to keep, add some extra security to keep those end caps in place. But that's a great thing to add to your builds, just to kind of give it a finished look. I can see some end caps in the very back as well. And next to that, we can see the next connector that we're going to cover, which is the 90-degree connector. This is a bit different. I mean, the bottom half of it looks like a T connector, but in addition to that, there's another piece of conduit that terminates inside of the connector and goes up. So you've got this piece down here, this green line, that one terminates, and then of course this horizontal running continuously through it. And then now we've got this blue piece of conduit coming out of it, going up to the top of the build. And same thing, of course, on the other side with this 90-degree connector and that vertical going up. And then, sorry, that's the middle actually, which means we've got another T connector and then another piece of conduit running to the back there with the that piece terminating inside of it, and then the piece running continuously through it, and then the blue piece coming out of the top. Same thing, of course, on this side, going all the way up. And then really just to finish off this build is just 3 more T connectors. And this just adds a horizontal bar on top, and that is just allowing or just kind of makes a place for the amp to be able to rest against the back of the frame there. So this is really cool, and that's pretty much all of the connectors and the conduit and the accessories in there, which is really great. Love seeing this, and it's a pretty simple frame. It's a lot of connectors, but you really, actually didn't cover the back too. Missed those. So in the back here, because you can see the amp is kind of tilted back a bit, I imagine that helps with the way the sound travels. Could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that makes sense. And then, of course, I think, so because you've got that angle there, here on the back, we've got the adjustable angle connector grabbing onto the vertical that's going up, and then that's what the T connector is grabbing on or is connected to there between those two connectors. It's the T in the front, piece of conduit going to the back, and the adjustable angle connector that's grabbing on at an angle and kind of angling this whole build so the amp is kind of tilted back a bit. But with those two, now that's all of the connectors in the frame. And again, it's a lot of connectors in a small area, but a pretty simple frame overall, and just a really great idea to be able to roll this around the studio, which is really cool thanks to those casters. So awesome build. This was sent in by an anonymous customer, which we appreciate. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. If you like this video, leave a like and consider subscribing. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next one.